Is Omega coming to live action to join our heroes in the Mandoverse as they work to take down the heir to the Empire, Grand Admiral Thrawn? The Bad Batch has come to an end, but although we may never see Clone Force 99 again, Omega's future is still up in the air. And as we saw in the series finale of The Bad Batch, Omega leaves Pabu to go join the rebellion. She tells Hunter that the rebels need more pilots, and now it's her turn to go join the fight. But I think there is a lot more going on here that will lead to Omega in live action. And this has been set up since all the way back in The Bad Batch Season 1. So let's start with where Omega can show up in live action first. Now this gives us 3 options. 2 shows and a possible movie that Omega could be starring in. Now the 2 shows have to do with 2 different relationships that Omega has with 2 different characters. And the movie we'll get to at the end of this video. Now the first show is Ahsoka Season 2. The Ahsoka show is already set in development for a second season by Dave Filoni, and although Omega was nowhere to be seen in the first season, I think it is very possible we could see her in this second season. And obviously we know that she has no relationship with Ahsoka Tano herself, but there is one character in that show that Omega would consider to be an old friend, and that is Hera Syndulla. And this takes us all the way back to The Bad Batch Season 1. When Omega and Clone Force 99 came to Hera's home world of Ryloth to help save Hera's parents from the Empire. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 10 years, then you know that Hera Syndulla is a rebel. And throughout 4 seasons of the animated show Star Wars Rebels, she actually becomes one of the leaders of the rebellion, which leads to the Ahsoka show. After the Empire is gone and the New Republic rises to power, Hera Syndulla becomes a general of the Republic. But in the series finale of The Bad Batch, we see Omega go off to join the rebellion as a pilot, and Hera Syndulla is also in that rebellion as a pilot.
Coincidence? I think not!
Now this live action appearance from Omega has been teased out ever since Omega and Hera said bye to each other in The Bad Batch Season 1. This scene in particular was foreshadowing so much for Omega and Hera's story together, as we hear a conversation between Hunter and Hera's mom as they're looking out at Omega and Hera as she says that this fight will eventually become theirs. As we see, years and years later, both characters are joining the rebellion. But when Hera and Omega say goodbye to each other, Omega asks if Hera has to leave. And she responds with, "For now, but I'm sure I'll see you around." Now, for at least the next 10 to 15 years, they will not see each other around. However, with the way the Bad Batch finale ended with Omega leaving Pabu and joining the rebellion, it is highly likely that these 2 old friends fought against the Empire together for a long, long time, which allows Omega to possibly make a live-action appearance in Ahsoka Season 2. Now, the second show that Omega could make her first ever live-action appearance in is The Book of Boba Fett Season 2. Now, unlike Ahsoka Season 2, The Book of Boba Fett has not been greenlit for a second season. After the first season was pretty divisive in the Star Wars fandom, many people calling it Mando Season 2.5, and let's be honest, even though some of the best episodes of Star Wars Disney Plus history are in The Book of Boba Fett isn't even in those episodes. However, if they do greenlight a Boba Fett Season 2, then this is the perfect place for Omega to make her live action debut. Although she has that connection to Hera Syndulla, she doesn't really have one to Ahsoka Tano, and she's not involved at all in the story of the first season of Ahsoka. But when it comes to Boba Fett, she could fit right in for 2 reasons. 1, Boba Fett. The 2 of them are the only unaltered clones of Jango Fett. Boba is technically the Alpha clone, and Omega is the Omega clone. They are brother and sister, and many Star Wars fans have been wanting them to meet for such a long time now, but they might just be saving it for live action. Now, the other character in the Book of Boba Fett that Omega has a very strong connection to is Fennec Shand. We see Fennec multiple times throughout the 3 seasons of The Bad Batch, and although she is a bounty hunter, in the Book of Boba Fett she has sort of changed her ways. So not only will Omega have this relationship with her brother, Boba Fett, but she will also already have this connection to Fennec Shand, allowing her perfectly to slide right in to live action in a possible Book of Boba Fett Season 2. But there is one other option for Omega and where she could show up in live action for the first time, and that is in a movie. Do you remember Rogue Squadron? Patty Jenkins' fighter pilot Star Wars movie that was scrapped because she had to go work on Wonder Woman 3, but now it's back because she got fired from Wonder Woman 3 because the DC universe just completely got rebooted? Is it possible that that movie could focus on the New Republic or even the time of the rebellion, with Omega being one of the main characters and a pilot in that movie? Out of the 3 on this list, from the Ahsoka Season 2 to the Book of Boba Fett Season 2 to now Rogue Squadron, I think Rogue Squadron is probably the least likely, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Now let's not forget, Omega still is the most important piece to the puzzle for Project Necromancer in creating a Force-sensitive clone of Palpatine. And just because Mount Tantus was shut down by Grand Moff Tarkin in the Bad Batch Season 3 does not mean that Project Necromancer has gone away. It was actually mentioned last year in the 3rd season of The Mandalorian, with this Shadow Council meeting with Moff Gideon and the other leaders of the remnant of the Empire. So it is possible, now that Grand Admiral Thrawn is back in the main galaxy as the heir to the Empire, that Omega could still play a role in this whole cloning a Force-sensitive clone type deal in this Mandoverse time period. But I honestly think there is no way they set up this Omega character to just be a nobody. Have 3 seasons in the Bad Batch, go off to join the rebellion, and then just nothing. There will be more Omega, and she will come to live action. But tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? And where do you think Omega will make her live action debut? In Ahsoka Season 2, in the Book of Boba Fett Season 2, or somewhere else? Tell me in the comment section below. And did you watch Tales of the Empire? Because it left us on a massive cliffhanger with Barriss Offee and whether or not she is dead or alive. But I explain why I think she is definitely still alive in this video right here.